This tutorial shows how to deploy a FastAPI application with a database for free. We're going to be using Railway, which requires no credit card. The application has login into the database, and it has sample information or fake data for the products, registrants, and there's a example of how to change the images or the information on the FastAPI application using the database. I just created an account and I connected it to GitHub, but I did not input a credit card. So I'm on this free workspace plan with $1 of usage per month. So this is good for hobby or just show your friends. When you first create the account, it gives you $5 of free usage and 512 megabytes of RAM, which is fine for the application that we will be deploying. I'm going to use this pre-configured FastAPI stack with the database and some test scripts. I'm going to download the zipped file. This tutorial doesn't cover a persistent volume, meaning that the database will be deleted. The new information in the database will be deleted after you reboot the database. I have a previous video that covers the permanent storage on fly volumes. But it does require a credit card, and I think that the charge is roughly about 15 cents a month. Because I'm not using pip and using UV, there's no requirements.txt in this project. I think the simplest thing to do is to use UV and pip to compile PyProject.toml, which it comes with, and have a requirements.txt. This file did not exist. Now it does. It's right here. I'm going to install Railway, the application. So if you don't have Brew installed on the Mac, you'll need to install it. You can test it with Railway version. I'm running 4.6.3. We're going to need to create a proc file. So from the main directory, open up a editor of your choice. I'll use Cursor. So I'll select new file. We're going to do web UV-corn. Okay, the port's going to be assigned at the time when you run the Railway application. So let's save it. You can also do this through the web interface, but I'll try it from the command line. So the browser opened and I was already logged in here at railway.com, so it says success. You can close this page. And it's logged in. I previously created the account. I'm going to try to do Railway init. So FastOpp is just the stack that I'm using with FastAPI. It just has the demo information on it. Okay, the command line is not working. I'm gonna create a new repo on GitHub. Try with it private. Then I'm going to set up the repo right here and deploy it to GitHub. I have all my code up here. And now I'll go back to right away. I'll attempt to add a new service. But I need to add the repo itself. So let's configure the GitHub app. So just scroll down where it says select repositories. So select the repository that I just created. And it appears to be, all right, I guess I just pressed the deploy button and it appears to be building right now. Now it appears to be deploying. Looking at the logs here, the build did complete, 72 seconds. I think this needs to be in caps. This is related to the previous deployment. I don't think you need to destroy it, but there was actually nothing in it at this point. So I'm just going to add a new repo here. And attempt to deploy it with that button. Okay, that's minor modification. Build logs look good. And the deploy logs look good. Everything's fine. So let's go to the settings here of the project. And then we'll look for the public networking here. So we can access it. We can generate a domain or make a custom domain. And for the tutorial, I think I'll just generate a domain. And now we have a public URL. So it's up, but the database, I believe, will not be working right now. So let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, we've created all of our fake data, initialized our database with fake information. Okay, in Railway, I'm going to create a couple of variables, one of which I'll set to the production variable. Production I'll set it to true. Okay, since I changed the variable, environmental variable, I had to redeploy Railway, the application, and so I'm going to have to reinitialize the database. Remember, every time you redeploy, you're going to lose the data. So this is only for prototyping or testing, or you can show your friends as long as you don't reboot the server with the data. Okay, so let's check out the SQLAdmin panel again. Admin123 is the default password. And it says this is a horrible password. And the data appears to be here. Let's delete the admin portion of the URL. And the data is here. Filtering works. And there's a separate custom admin panel with the same password, admin123. It's not a good password. Updated the notes here for John Smith. Look at the SQLAdmin panel for the webinar, fake webinar. You can see that the data was updated. Okay, so let's try to change the password of the deploy of FastAPI. So we'll go Railway SSH, and we'll connect to the service, the Railway tutorial service. And there's change password. opdemo.py change password. And we'll change it to need to change this. Need to change this. Okay. Now we'll exit out of the Railway virtual machine. Okay, we'll try the login screen here. admin@example.com. I'll do admin123 to test to see whether you can still log in or not. Great, great. We can't log in with that. Okay, it needs to change this. Need to change this, and we are in. So this has some users here. You can create a user, but the password, you're gonna have to change it because this is the hashed password right here. So you'd have to put in a temporary password and then change it from the command line to actually use these, but you could just use the example users here if you wanted to. So that's it for the tutorial on the completely free version of deploying FastAPI with a database. No credit card required. However, there's some limitations, obviously, right? So you can't use it for high load. If you restart the database, you're going to lose the data in the application. However, if you don't have a credit card that works, you could give this a try. And if you like it and your app takes off, then maybe just pay a little bit of money, potentially on this service or a different service, to get it more stable. Well, hope you have fun and have a great day.